welcome. You're watching NewsX with me, Devika Chopra. Sources have revealed that terrorists involved in the devastating Pahalgam terror attack recce'd 3 other spots for an ambush before picking the Baisaran Valley. A week after the attack, investigation has found that terrorists were living in the tourist destination in Kashmir 2 days prior to the terror attack. The agency has found that terrorists plan to attack the 3 other spots, which includes the Aru Valley, a local amusement park, and the Betab Valley. However, this was foiled due to the presence of security forces in the area. The NIA has also learned that 4 overground workers had helped the terrorists recce the spots. Around 20 overground workers have been identified so far, and while several OGWs have been taken into custody, out of 2,500 suspects, 186 people are still in custody. Sources have added that the terrorists were found using an ultra-state communication system during the attack in Pahalgam's Baisaran Valley. This system allows terrorists to communicate and exchange messages without using a SIM card, enabling short-range secure communication. Evidence of the use of 3 satellite phones was also found in the valley. The signals of 2 of the satellite phones have been traced. Meanwhile, NIA Director General Sadanand Date has returned to the CRPF camp after spending nearly 3 hours at the Baisaran Valley. The DG conducted an on-ground assessment of the scene as part of the ongoing investigation into the terror attack. But what do these latest developments by the NIA truly reveal? We take this conversation forward. I have with me on the broadcast Major General Rajan Kocher, and we also have with us Major General Anuj Matur with us on the broadcast. Major General Rajan Kocher, let me begin this conversation with you, sir. What we're now learning, Major General Rajan Kocher, is that firstly, the terrorists had done a recce of heavy tourist locations, including Baisaran, the Aru Valley, the Betab Valley, and a local amusement park. But they ultimately zeroed in on the Baisaran Valley because they claimed that there was lesser security deployment in this area. What exactly becomes the big takeaway or learning for India at this point in time from these revelations?
What is important here is it is amply clear now that these people cannot be locals because they have the local support, but the type of communication equipment they have, only a state can give to them, a state like Pakistan or ISI, because on your own these locals cannot procure this kind of equipment. So that brings us closer to our prosthesis that there is an involvement of Pakistan military, there is an involvement of Pakistan ISI, and these noises which are coming from Pakistan for third-party probe and things like that, neutral probe and all, they negate all these claims, and also the claims being made by their Prime Minister, the the Defense Minister, and all those people saying that we had nothing to do with it. Second important aspect, as you mentioned, that they had come here 2 days prior. So that means there is a strong local network which is supporting these people, because they have gone unnoticed all this time. They have done a reconnaissance. They very well had done their homework well, because as you rightly brought out, 3-4 locations were being considered, and they homed down to this location because they came to know that there is no security presence in this location. So it would be a very comfort zone for them, and a very safe zone for them. Third, whenever they carry out an attack, they also look at the escape route or exfiltration route. So now here is a place which has been selected, and it has a dense pine and deodar forest on the other side, and this entire forest, these are secondary forests. So if you see, even when they would be escaping from the from the air, you will not be able to see them inside the jungle because of the foliage. And also the drones will also be ineffective. So they have thought over these things. And very important is that after around 6-7 kilometers, these forests and the valleys and all move into Kishtwar. So it becomes very easy that once they reach Kishtwar, from there they have this kind of some kind of arrangement to take them across the border. Because you see, by the time the security forces could come in here, it was almost an hour or so because of this 30-40 minutes of trekking. There is no motorable road to this area. So if I can summarize the whole thing, it's well thought of location, less security presence or hardly any security presence, more chances of success and less chances of getting caught because they have an exfiltration route, they have the time, they had the lead, because by the time the security forces will come and stabilize the situation, they would have gone a couple of kilometers inside, and then it becomes difficult. Even if you launch a search after that, it becomes very difficult to keep pace with them because they have a head on you. And then, of course, the last point, of course, the most important is so many OGWs are getting caught now, and the type of local support. I would request the government one thing: please treat the OGWs like you treat the terrorists, because they should not be given any kind of a laxity or lesser punishment. They are as much a part of the conspiracy as the terrorist is, and should be given exemplary punishment. Devika.
Right, absolutely. I will come to Major General Anuj Mathur as well, but do we have Javed with us? Javed, I want to come to you quickly, and if you can just tell our viewers what is the latest that we're picking up as far as the NIA investigation is concerned.
और देखिए एनआईए की जो डीजी हैं वो यहाँ से जो मेरे ठीक पीछे यहाँ पर बैसरन घाटी है, वहाँ से वो सीधा सीआरपीएफ जो है हेडक्वार्टर मेरे ठीक पीछे यहाँ पर देविका सीआरपीएफ हेडक्वार्टर वहाँ पहुँचे। करीब 3 घंटे तक जो डीजी एनआईए हैं वो बैसरन घाटी में थे, और जो लोग हैं वो कहीं ना कहीं एक दूसरी तरफ तस्वीर ये भी है कि कुछ लोग जो पर्यटक है वो कहीं ना कहीं वापस कश्मीर भी आ रहे हैं। लेकिन जहाँ एक तरफ 22 अप्रैल को जो आतंकी हमले में जो 26 लोगों की मौत हुई, उसके बाद एनआईए इस पूरे मामले की जाँच कर रही है। जिस तरीके से 20 ओवरग्राउंड वर्कर्स को डिटेन किया गया, जिसमें से कुछ लोगों को जानकारी मिली है कि गिरफ्तार भी किया गया, और 4 वैसे ओवरग्राउंड वर्कर्स हैं जिन पर एनआईए का एक पूरा जो इन्वेस्टिगेशन जो है जाकर रुक गई है कि ये 4 वो आइडेंटिफाई किया जा रहा है कि जिन्होंने आतंकियों को पूरा एक रूट मैप यानी कि रैकी करने में मदद की थी। और यहाँ तक कि जो लॉजिस्टिक सपोर्ट की अगर बात करें तो वो भी कहीं ना कहीं एक सपोर्ट मिला था, और 15 अप्रैल को भी वो लोग बैसरन घाटी में उस वक्त मौजूद थे। इसके अलावा 2 दिन पहले भी जो जानकारी मिली थी कि उनका जो पोजीशन था वो यहीं पर था। इसको लेकर जो एनआईए अपनी पूरी जांच कर रही है, और लगातार जो सर्च ऑपरेशन को कंडक्ट किया गया आज यानी कि 1 मई को 10 दिन पूरे हो गए हैं इस आतंकी हमले को, जिसमें 26 बेकसूर लोगों की जान गई है। देविका, इस पूरे मामले में एनआईए के डीजी ने अपने तमाम जो जांच के ऑफिसर्स है एनआईए के, उनसे पूरी एक रिपोर्ट ली है और खुद बैसरन घाटी जाकर उस पूरे इलाके को समझने की कोशिश की कि आखिर कैसे एंट्री और एग्जिट पॉइंट रहा होगा और किस तरीके से वो अंदर दाखिल हुए होंगे। उसके बाद 3 घंटे के पूरे इस बैसरन घाटी को एग्जामिन करने के बाद एक इन्वेस्टिगेशन के तौर पर उसके बाद जो एनआईए के डीजी हैं वो सीआरपीएफ कैंप पहुंचे, और वहां से भी कुछ देर पहले वो यहां से निकले हैं। इसमें दूसरी कार्रवाई ये भी रही कि कुछ सर्च ऑपरेशन को भी कंडक्ट किया गया, जिसमें कुछ हुर्रियत, कुछ प्रतिबंधित संगठन के लोकेशंस पे सर्च ऑपरेशन को कंडक्ट किया गया था, जहां पर कुछ देश विरोधी चीज़ें मिली हैं। और ये माना जा रहा है कि कहीं ना कहीं जो कनेक्शन है ओवरग्राउंड वर्कर्स का, वो इन प्रतिबंधित संगठन के जरिए कहीं ना कहीं उनको एक सपोर्ट मिली थी, जिसको लेकर ये पूरा मामला जो है वो इन्वेस्टिगेशन वहाँ तक पहुँची है। फिलहाल एनआईए जो है पूरी तरीके से हर एक एंगल्स को लेकर, क्योंकि जिस तरीके से जो सिग्नल ऐप को ट्रेस किया गया है, 2 सिग्नल को वहाँ पे ट्रेस किया गया है और जिसमें पाया गया है कि किस तरीके से उस कम्युनिकेशन जो ऐप को इस्तेमाल किया गया था, जिसमें कि बिना सिम के उसको यूज़ किया गया और किस तरीके से इन्होंने कम्युनिकेशन इस्टेब्लिश किया। लेकिन फिलहाल ये भी जानकारी है कि जिस तरह की जो फ्रीक्वेंसी थी, उस फ्रीक्वेंसी को भी मैच किया गया कि उस फ्रीक्वेंसी का जो मेन सेंटर था वो सेंटर बैसन घाटी के किस तरफ से था, क्योंकि लगातार जो है इन्वेस्टिगेशन में जो जिस तरह से खुलासे हो रहे हैं और जो ओवरग्राउंड वर्कर्स जो सबसे अहम कड़ी है इस पूरे टेरर मॉड्यूल को लेकर, जिस तरीके से बैसन घाटी में 26 लोगों की जान गई और इसका सीधा असर अगर आज की बात करें, 10 दिन बाद की बात करें, तो इस वक्त आप देख सकते हैं कि ये पहलगाम है और यहाँ से ही आगे बैसन घाटी जहाँ पे वो इंसिडेंट हुआ है, आतंकी हमला हुआ और यहाँ पे बिल्कुल सुनसान पड़ा हुआ है। और साथ ही मैं आपको बता दूं कि 3 ऐसे लोकेशन थे जो बैसन घाटी के अलावा आतंकियों ने उसको टारगेट किया था, जो एजेंसी के सूत्रों के हवाले से, जिसमें अम्यूजमेंट पार्क था, अरू घाटी था और एक बेताब घाटी है, जिनको उन्होंने इसलिए एग्जीक्यूट नहीं कर पाए उस पूरे टेरर मॉड्यूल को कि उसकी एंट्री और एग्जिट पॉइंट उसकी एक थी। बैसन घाटी में जो पूरा जंगल था वहाँ पे कहाँ से किस तरीके से उनका एंट्री और एग्जिट बना, इसको इन्वेस्टिगेशन किया जा रहा है। टेक्निकल के साथ साथ फॉरेंसिक की मदद ली जा रही। लेकिन यहाँ पर मेरे पीछे जो आप रास्ता देख रही हैं देवी का, यहीं से आगे जाकर ही पहलगाम पुलिस स्टेशन है, जो एक टी पॉइंट पे एक पॉइंट बनता है और उसी के ठीक सामने से ही अम्यूजमेंट पार्क है, जो इस वक्त बंद कर दिया गया है। उन 47 टूरिस्ट प्लेस में से एक है। अम्यूजमेंट पार्क के साथ साथ उरी जो है अरू घाटी है, इसके साथ बेताब घाटी है, इसको टारगेट पे थे, लेकिन वो एंट्री एग्जिट पॉइंट एक होने की वजह से और एक रास्ता होने की वजह से वो उसमें कामयाब नहीं हो पाए और उसके बाद बैसन घाटी को टारगेट किया गया। इस पूरे मामले में 2500 लोगों को पूछताछ की गई, जिसमें से 186 लोगों को हिरासत में रखा गया है और उनसे पूछताछ की जा रही है। लेकिन इन सब में वो 4 ओवरग्राउंड वर्कर सबसे अहम हैं, जिनको जो एजेंसी के रडार पर हैं और ये माना जा रहा है कि बिना ओवरग्राउंड वर्कर्स के आतंकी यहाँ तक नहीं पहुँच सकते थे, क्योंकि उनको बाकायदा पूरी जानकारी दी गई थी। तो ये पूरी इन्वेस्टिगेशन जो NIA की लगातार चल रही है और खुद आज 1 मई को NIA के जो DG है वो यहाँ पर पहुंचे थे 10 दिन बाद इस पूरे इंसिडेंट को लेकर। और जिस तरीके से जो ISI और LET की अगर बात करें, लश्कर तौबा की, तो इस पूरे जो मॉड्यूल में जिस तरह से कनेक्शन सामने आ रहा है उसको लेकर एजेंसी पूरी तरीके से अलर्ट है और उन ओवरग्राउंड वर्कर्स के साथ साथ उनके और कौन कौन एसोसिएट्स हैं उनके भी इंट्रोगेशन, उनसे भी पूछताछ की जा रही है। और एक पूरा जो सीक्वेंस है उस दिन को लेकर उससे कुछ घंटे पहले का कि एक पूरा एक रूट मैप क्या रहा होगा, कैसे वो यहाँ तक पहुँचेंगे, किस तरह से उनकी मदद की गई।
Okay. All right, Javed, thank you so much for that comprehensive report from Pahalgam. Stay safe, Javed. I want to bring in Major Anuj Matur into the conversation as well. Major Anuj Matur, I want to understand from your perspective, sir, basis what you've possibly read as far as reports are concerned, and also you've just heard my colleague who's giving us information live from Pahalgam on what the investigation has revealed so far. Number one, that 4 areas were on the terrorists' radar and they actually did a recce before zeroing in on the Baisaran Valley, not only because of logistical ease and access to Baisaran, but also because of lower security in the Baisaran Valley. And secondly, the fact that several overground workers have now been nabbed and are being investigated in order to understand what really was the overall modus operandi. But I want to understand from your perspective, basis the information that we have so far, does the role of a larger terror organization as well as the role of Pakistan become more and more clear?
Thank you very much. See, I'll tell you, it's very, very simple. In fact, the reporter was just saying ये माना जा रहा है कि उसमें overground workers का involvement था. There is no question of माना जा रहा. You cannot operate in these areas unless you have a local support. And this local support ecosystem, it has not come up overnight. This ecosystem has been in existence for decades. And it has taken such deep roots that it is very, very difficult to know exactly where the entire system rests. Now I will tell you. Firstly, I would like to tell you one thing very. Don't think that I'm trying to blow trumpet or something like that. I have commanded my unit in Pahalgam. Now, when I say I've commanded my unit, my entire unit was deployed in the area of Pahalgam. So I'll be able to tell you exactly why Aru and Betab and other things were probably not taken on. The reason is, but when was I deployed? I was deployed when there was Yatra going on. And it was only to cover Yatra. And under normal circumstances, there is no physical deployment of any security forces in these areas. That should be known. Now, what has happened is that these people have carried out reconnaissance. I'll tell you, Betab Valley can be approached from a nearby security forces base by road. And also, Betab Valley is a very vast open valley, and if you have to do something there, because the people, when they have to, having done the act, they have to melt away. They will have to move in open type of terrain for a while before they can hit the jungle. Similar is the case with Aru. So the point is, they have gone on to such deep details. In addition to that, Devika, I want to bring in one more issue. That the people who were to visit that place that day, there was a possibility of getting a serving armed forces officer. There was a possibility of getting an IB officer. There was a possibility of getting an A Force NCO. So all these informations, I am positively sure that were also available to the terrorists who carried out this attack. And where does that information come from? Where the people are staying? I can tell you, Devika, an army fellow or a forces gentleman can be recognized in a crowd from a distance without any doubt, because they carry a different demeanor. They carry themselves in a manner. So even up to that, these people have gone into that kind of detail, and they had a possibility of getting a few of these. Because if you see in the aftermath of the whole thing, there were large number of people who were talking about an IB fellow being killed and a naval officer being killed and things like that. So this information also was available to them, and this also has probably added towards selection of this particular target. The reaction can come fastest at least 1 to 1.5 hours, good enough for them to melt away anywhere. And the modus operandi, I've done 17-18 years in the Kashmir. The modus operandi is that they do an activity north of Pir Panjal, take the route, melt into south of Pir Panjal, take a light dogo for a while, and then try and do something there. So that has been a very regular system. Now the issue is that there was a very famous operation conducted, Operation Sheshnag, where they had tried to block all the possible routes from north of Pir Panjal to south of Pir Panjal, and pressurize them to run in either direction. So this is how it needs to be done. But the fact of the matter is, the kind of intelligence that was available and the kind of support, guidance, there are so many things will come out. Equipment profile. This equipment is not only Pakistan. It's an equipment which is Chinese-based equipment, and the Chinese have provided it not to the terrorists. Chinese don't give anything to terrorists. So if that equipment has to take route to the terrorist, it has to be via Pakistan armed forces. There is no doubt that there is a direct involvement of Pakistan's army and not anybody else. Let that be very, very clear. The nerve of this entire terror setup is in the headquarters of ISI. That is loud and clear, and the world knows it. That is why the reactions you've seen, how IWT there has been no reactions, how so many things have happened, there are no reactions, because they know. And in an attack on innocent civilians by terrorists and by terrorist organizations, the world is with the people who have suffered and not with the people who are giving that kind of things to the world. Whole world now is absolutely clear, Devika, Pakistan's involvement. And see, where is Pakistan's army's chief today? Because he is under threat within his own country. He is missing for last so many days. I think I haven't heard of him in last 4, 5, 6, 7 days. So everything put together is falling into place, and the head of Pakistan Armed Forces and ISI is beyond any doubt, Devika.
Okay. I want to bring back Major Rajan Kocher into the conversation. Major Rajan Kocher, it seems as though India is now making Pakistan really sleep with one eye open every single day. What do you think is really the strategy here? Are we simply now sending the jitters to Pakistan? Is that perhaps the correct way forward? Because we have seen, of course, in the past when there have been terror attacks that the forces, of course, come in and they do get rid of certain terrorists, are killed, are neutralized in encounters. Terror groups are sometimes taken out itself. Terror camps are wiped out. But we have not really seen in the past any of that having a long-term effect or solution. But what we see this time around as a response from India is something that even the world is not being able to understand. The fact that it's been now 7 days, almost 8 days since the terror attack took place, and India is slowly and steadily building up towards what it seems like is just psychologically torturing Pakistan at this point in time. But what do you think some of the next steps will be as far as the investigation is concerned?
Devika, I'm not a war monger. I will not say that we want to go to war, because war will not give you a solution, because Pakistan also has a professional army and it's going to be a fight with them. So we have to accept that going to war is not a solution. But what is the solution then? The thing is that today you have done a master stroke by keeping in abeyance the Indus Water Treaty, because that is going to hurt Pakistan more than any war. Tomorrow, if we reduce the flow of water to Pakistan, Pakistan is already 30% water deficient. And even if it is a marginal curtailment of flow to around 15-20%, also the impact will be tremendous on Pakistan. So we have to, and see, we are in no hurry to strike them. And we are not going to initiate the war. We are going to target their terror infrastructure. We are collecting the right kind of intelligence. And once we have those coordinates with us, Devika, you will see there will be a strike. So I would suggest to the viewers also that though the Prime Minister has given a green hand to the Indian Army, please do not expect that thing to happen almost immediately. It can take weeks. It can take a month also. So in this intervening period, as you rightly said, Pakistan is mobilized because Pakistan fears India will attack. So considering the economy of Pakistan, considering the foreign exchange reserves of Pakistan, it is absolutely the right strategy for Pakistan to be kept deployed for a very, very long time, because you see, more you deploy the forces, the more expenditure will take place. Your air sorties are going on, your vehicle and convoy movements are going on, and a lot of training activities are going on in their own areas. So they are spending money and they don't have that kind of money. The second important aspect as far as the investigations are concerned, I think we have to, the NIA has already started this job. We have to make a close and a shut case, because what Pakistan is harping for is evidence. See, by saying here on your channel that we think it is, actually we think we must have concrete evidence on our hand to suggest that there are linkages. By the statement of the Defence Minister Khaja Asif, if he says that for last 30 years we were doing this terrorism in our country, that is one part of it. But to have a clinching evidence, it is very important now the NIA through the OGWs, and I am absolutely certain we will get that linkage very soon. And what is important is we also have to get those intercepts, those conversations, those people whom are there involved, the handlers. And this entire, as Anuj has said, this network has been functioning for decades. So the most important aspect right now is, you see, Pakistan is okay. we may launch a strike or two, it won't be much of a deterrence. But what is going to be the deterrence is that we demolish this network. Because moment this network gets demolished, the terrorist becomes absolutely ineffective. And let me tell you, very few local terrorists are part of it. Most of them are foreign terrorists. So what they are dependent on is the network which they have created inside India, inside Jammu and Kashmir. So that becomes, I think, one of the focus areas of the Indian government today, that we must break this network, we must finish this network. And my last point is, I personally feel the way things are going, we are not going in for a war with Pakistan. It will depend upon the escalatory ladder. What kind of escalation is there from Pakistan side will decide the course of events. But as of now, we are going to target, in my analysis, because I'm not privy, to the plans, so I can't say anything. But in my own analysis, I visualize that we are going to target their terror infrastructure, and not one. According to open media report, which I just read in one of the newspapers 2 days back, there are 42 training camps in POK. So if this information is available in the open media, you can expect what kind of information must be available with our security forces. So we need to target that. And General Munir is also scared that if his location is known, he may also be targeted. And that is one of the reasons that he's gone missing. And people are saying he's gone missing. He is somewhere. He is inside some bunker or something, hiding himself, because he also knows he is going to be a registered target. Thank you, Dev.
Okay, all right. I've run out of time, but I thank both of our guests for joining us on the broadcast to take this conversation forward. With that, viewers, we're going to slip into a very short break.